Last time on our boat story, we left Hammond on the Calsag Channel and made it past the Interstate 94 bridge. In this episode, we will continue south of Chicago, westward to the Free Wall in Joliet on the Illinois River. Aloha! We are Sava, Cynthia, and Alex, along with our two dogs, Lucy and Shadow. We're traveling America's Great Loop, a 6,000-mile North American waterway from Florida to Canada and back down via the Mississippi. Follow us on this journey on our boat called Mahalo.
We are following behind leader one, and there's a second boat. And then us, we're number 3 in the flotilla this morning. Look how pretty blue the sky is. Going underneath a road bridge and then underneath a train bridge. We're going to catch this train coming on the right side. A lot of motion right now. There's huge wakes behind us. Is just
It's bouncing off the sides,
waves.
and that's all potential hazard. But it's throwing a boat for a loop, it's, so to speak. It's going left and right, the current and waves, and throwing us all sorts of places.
So we just thought this pipeline was really cool. Crossing the river here. I apologize for the isinglass is up, because it's been so breezy here, but we just thought this was interesting. And then over here, it looks like there's some men here working. There's a barge, not sure what they're loading, but this is an active work site, so we slowed way down to try to not give any wake. You see the two flotilla boats ahead. You can hear their generators running. It says warning. Something cargo, no smoking. Dangerous cargo, no smoking. There's a man walking along the barge. Danger. Benzene. Flammable. Have it. There's another pipeline up here running across the river as well. And we have these odd little currents that come through that make us go from side to side of this channel as we're actively steering. Using the auto steering is not working very well, so you must steer here, otherwise you go from side to side. There we have a nice big crane. Some very interesting blocks that they have set in a position, I guess, to hold sand or maybe to guide where the cranes are supposed to drive between the piles. And then over there you have the building, which I believe the sand comes down from after it's processed. I guess barges come here and the crane loads it on.
Again, a pretty park right here with the runoff river flowing into the Illinois River here. Well done though, very nicely done, and all the geese up on top there. Pretty. That alarm goes off every time we get to a bridge. It says potential hazards. If you hear that in the background, that's what that is. There's a couple fishermen right there waving. Cool. So we have a barge approaching. I had a number of boats pass me. They all want to go yeah, over 8 miles per hour. We like going 6.5 to 7. We'll do 7.5, but we won't do 8 unnecessarily. It just burns so much extra fuel for no good reason. And so we're gonna let them pass. But here's a barge coming up the Illinois River. They've been waiting all summer long to come, so I'm sure there's a big backup of commercial traffic. And there's a barge right here. That's the barge. Now the waves seem to bounce off the barges and come back, so this is going to be our first experiences with barges and passing them and the waves bouncing off their hulls. Let's see how this works out. It's been a challenging drive today just because of the wind, which is coming straight ahead, but it doesn't allow our boat to go straight very easily. The Eileen Sea. So we've reached the point where the Calsac and the Chicago River come together, and this is where it is right here. We made a pretty waterfall here with a lighthouse. I think Alex took over the helm. He's up here, and but got some geese there. Pretty waterfall. Got our arch there. It's a good day. It's a good day. Another view of the split right here. So if you go down that way, that's the Chicago River. It'll take you down to downtown Chicago. Unfortunately, the Amtrak bridge is broken, so no one is going down that way. It's like a go there and you turn around. But anyway, Alex is driving. Lucy is in charge. She just woke up. She didn't know she was in charge. We are approaching the lowest bridge and lowest point on the Great Loop at mile marker 300.5, about 29 miles south of Chicago in Lamont, Illinois, just after the junction of the Chicago Sanitary Ship Canal and the Calsac Channel. This bridge has a clearance of 19 feet and 7 inches, or 5.97 meters. Every boat doing the loop must be able to clear this railroad bridge.
Hey guys, we are continuing with our flotilla. Now, they have left us behind, but one boat put out a little more exhaust than another, and we also go another speed. Now this is, I'll admit, smelly. I don't know, I think it's trash, but they're sorting it, doing something with it, but it doesn't smell nice at all. And there's the barge covers. They're filling this barge, and maybe they're taking old cement and stuff and grinding it down into this fine sand. And I guess when they're ready, they will put a cover over it. So here you see them actually putting the covers on. Swinging the green piece in place. Or taking it off. I guess he's taking it off. The barge is tilted to one end, which I think means he scooped out everything on this end, which has made it. The filled side should still be heavy. That's probably why it's at a slant. Even that roof is waving in this wind, isn't it? So we're passing some large covered items. And then there's this warning sign that says submerged electronic fish barriers 3,000 feet ahead. High risk of electric shock. No swimming, diving, fishing, or mooring. Here, life jackets must be worn on deck. Supervise all passengers, children, and pets. is another one of these interesting pipes that goes across the channel. Signs for slow, no wake. Huh, Alex, that almost looks like a submarine, but it's some kind of oil tank over here. And then this very interesting pipe going across. Okay, now we're entering the electric fish barriers. High risk of electric shock. No swimming, diving, fishing, or mooring. And this is to prevent an invasive species, Zava can put down below, of coming up to the Great Lakes. So we'll show you a picture of that invasive species that they're targeting, and that way you can see what it is that they're working with. And I think up ahead we're starting to see some of our flotilla boats. We're at the very back now, and just following through on some of these industrial areas. Looks like factories with big pipes going underneath these. So action, there is a little blue and white sign here before this bridge, and it says leaving electric shock hazard area. So it wasn't too long. I would say it's a few minutes. Over here you got some men pointing at us. Blue lights are flashing along in that area. It's like somebody's football laying there in the water. It is a football. After the bridge is this large factory. So the one thing that I think Zava's takeaway on this channel is we were surprised, or we are surprised, at how windy it is. So he is turning his Garmin back on. As a precaution, some have said that when you're going through the electric shock area for the fish, that you should turn off your electronics because it can disable them. We don't know if that is an urban legend or if that's true, but nobody wants to be without their Garmin right this minute because it's been so windy.
Unless your electronics have ground.
So since we're on a boat and going along, we went ahead and turned it off. It may be the same as that Neptune's challenge. It may be that same as don't have bananas on your boat. Nonetheless, we turned it off just to be safe. So in the distance, that long conveyor belt is spewing on sand to that highest peak. It looks like it's making a mountain right there with American flag flying on it. Very cool. A very sandy, gritty job. Always surprised not to see anybody wearing any masks. Look at it filling this barge, and you can see that the barge is slanted. So the bottom end that's filled is all the way down in the water versus this top area, which is still up out of the water until it gets filled with sand. Very heavy cargo. And then coming up, we have a yellow bucket crane that is taking big mouthfuls. Is it filling, Alex, to a barge, or is it just organizing? So the crane is taking a big mouthful in its scoop, and now he's turning it, coming over. And he's putting it in that little conveyor belt. The conveyor belt's not running yet, so I guess once turn into the wake that the barge is creating. Hey guys, we've made it to the second lock. It's been a really tiring day for Zava. He's had to stand most of the time.
Yeah.
And over here, you can see the flashing red triangles are the boats ahead of us. And they are up there. I'm going to go show you forward. We're in a holding pattern. Alex is sitting out here in the sun. Let me unzip her so I can show you.
Summers and changing latitudes. You guys are under 40. See anyone small boats in the front and in the back? You guys may want to go first, so they can put you up front.
Aloha. So it took an hour so far, about an hour 15 minutes for the lock to go down and come back up here. And as you can see, the flotilla is slowly starting to go in. We'll be one of the last ones in, and we'll probably have to raft up with these folks. So I'm going to get back to my wheel here and get ready to go in. Aloha. So we just rafted up here to Better Together. Here's Alex right there. It's our first rafting with someone. We had someone, of course, raft with us on season 1. Coming up the Intracoastal. Here's Cynthia right here. And the lock's just closed.
The door came up from the bottom and then they're in place. So I think you kind of missed the action, but it came up out of the water and then is there off.
Okay. So we've made progress. As you can see right here, Alex is holding on. We've gone down a good probably 15, 20 feet, I reckon. But hopefully we're at the bottom here in just a moment. We should be able to get out. We're only like 3 miles away or 3.5 miles away from the Joliet wall. We hear it's very full. There's only spots for 2 boats. There's 9 of us. Not sure how that's going to work out. Obviously we have to raft, but we'll figure out how we're going to raft over there. So it's going to be more of a challenge. This is our first raft. I guess we're going to raft again at the Joliet wall. But just take a look outside there. It's got some more up front. It's a really big lock. What they don't have is the bollards, the floating bollards or cables or anything like that for us to tie onto. So that makes it a little more difficult. So I thought we were at the bottom of the lock, but as you can see, it went way past that. I'm gonna have to put it down below here of how far we actually went in the lock. It's just way, way down. Way down in the lock. We're going to take one more look here at what is happening behind us. Here's Cynthia sitting right here waving, but look how massive the gate is that came up, and then you see all the water coming down. This is a massive lock. I've never seen something like this yet. Yeah, this is huge. So if you look down this way, you can see a crack of light back there. That's actually the doors opening. How exciting is that? We should be able to be flushed out of here very soon.
Hey guys, so we made it out of that lock. It was a big lock. We had a long wait. I'm not even sure how long we waited, but it was a long wait. And now we're following the crew. We're back at the back again. We're trying to put extra oomph in our fuel consumption because we need to get there by 4:30.
Some of the bridges closed from 4:30
and so we need to catch up with our flotilla or stay up with them, and we're doing the best we can. So here we go. Very unique bridge here. We've seen so many of these with so many wires and cables. Very interesting. Clearance on this one. I'm trying to read it for you. I don't see the numbers. There's a train that was moving. It just stopped now on the left-hand side. Here we are going under. Pretty cool. They have the windows boarded up on this train tower. There's still security cameras, but there's the engines, and I guess they're pulling or pushing the train? I thought it was going the other direction, but now it appears to be going forward. So I guess it's pulling 2 engines with a whole bunch of mixed freight. Some tanker cars, different kinds.
Let's just get through the bridge.
Yeah, let's just get through. It's okay. So permanent vacation and time and tide can go together, right? I don't have to call it out.
You know, one Mahalo.
So
They're gonna
time and tide
south and then wait.
followed by permanent vacation, Bama breeze, a sloop. You just won't be saying that again, right?
Yeah, well now.
Lightning, Mahalo, good day sunshine, runaway, into the Mystic, Halcyon, the Beach House, Better Together, Side Trip, Endless Summers, Changing Latitude, and Pahana.
Aloha and welcome to Joliet. This is the wall right here. We got 17 boats tied up, and a number of them are rafted like that, where 2 of them are tied together. We ourselves, of course, are tied up to another boat because there's only so much room. It's been a long day, a stressful day in some ways because of the barges, because I had to steer the boat. The autopilot could not do the river at all. Too many turns, too many variables. So I usually don't drive it, as you guys know. Anyway, you all have a good night. Thank you for joining us today on this journey to Joliet. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. Give us that thumbs up. Makes a world difference. A number of you guys are doing it. And subscribe. We're trying to get our subscribers up. We'll see you again tomorrow as we head west to down the Illinois River.